Hey, what's going on? If you're new to my channel, my name's Silas Haig and I share tips and tricks for solopreneurs, freelancers, anyone that's running or starting an online business. Now, in today's video, I want to talk to you about how to avoid being scammed with internet marketing. And I'm not talking about those more obvious scams like our dear friend, the Nigerian prince, but I'm talking about the ones that are a bit more harder to identify and the ones that can actually be harder to separate out from legitimate marketing techniques. So I'm going to cover some of the red flags to look out for. And while just one of these red flags alone might not be enough to make something seem a scam, it should at least make you cautious. Because it's tricky because a lot of these by themselves don't necessarily mean it's a scam. Some, as I said, are legitimate sales tactics that can maybe work in isolation. But if you see any of these things or kind of a combination of these things, just proceed with caution and research heavily. So these are mainly going to be in reference to business opportunities, courses, coaching, masterminds, and things like that. So the first red flag is the magic bullet. So be skeptical of fast and or easy ways to make money, especially ones where you don't need any prior experience or with any where they have any guarantees that it'll work within a certain period of time. You know, if they're kind of showing loads of inflated success stories, fancy cars, huge events, flashy promos, this kind of plays into that quick fix, magic bullet kind of scenario. We all have that desire for instant gratification to a certain extent, but honestly, nothing legitimate or worth having comes super quick without any effort. So you just kind of have to be willing to put in the work and the time, and anything that's saying otherwise, just be wary of that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of proven training programs, strategies, and methods out there. There's loads that are out there and work, but just realize that all of these take time and effort. So just keep that in mind when you're researching something new. And also just make sure that they have disclaimers down and maybe just check them out and give them a quick read, because they often say something like, these aren't typical results. You know, your results may vary from what we've got. So keep that in mind as well. And if they have no disclaimers, that's a big red flag right there. Okay, the second red flag is the fake guru red flag. So check out who is actually selling you on this particular thing, this product, this service, this course, or this opportunity. Do they have any results? And if so, what are they? If you're learning from someone or that someone's showing you something, just make sure that they actually practice what they preach and they do what they're showing you, because perhaps they could have maybe done this 5 years ago and now they're trying to make some extra money selling this old, outdated method. If they're actually still doing it, it will all be up to date and it'll actually work. It might actually work for you. And generally speaking, the people that talk loudest about how much money they make are the ones that you should be the most wary of. So, I mean, obviously you have to show your success and that helps sell things, but just be aware that some of this can be faked. So, you know, you can fake certain things, certain screenshots, you can mess around with stats to show certain things. So just, again, do your research. I would say it's best to hear reviews from people that have actually invested in that thing you're looking at. So try to reach out to them and maybe just ask them questions and see who you trust and who you don't, and just take the recommendations from the people that you do trust. Now, the third red flag is if there's no refund policy or anything similar. So, and I know a lot of people selling things online might not offer the standard 100% money back guarantee, and that's fair enough. And there are many reasons why they wouldn't do that. If they do offer that, then that's excellent. That shows that they have trust in what they're selling, and that, you know, if it doesn't work for you, then you can get your money back. But there are many other things that they can offer, many other different types of guarantees. If they've got something like this, then that's a good sign. So in the past, I've seen things where it's like, if you've only completed less than 25% of the material, then you can still get your money back. You know, you can kind of try it out a small portion, and if you're not into it, then you can get your money back. That obviously protects that person from you getting everything, like say in an information product, you reading everything, you learning everything, and then getting your money back, and then you've got the information and they haven't got anything to show for it. Or they can have like a kind of action-based guarantee. So if you do the things that they tell you to do, and you don't get any results, maybe they'll say within 3 months or something. If you can prove that you've tried it and you still haven't got the results, then maybe they'll say that they'll work with you until you do, or they'll give you money back. You have to prove that you've actually put in the work first of all. So that's another thing that they can do. And just check to make sure that they actually have that in their terms and conditions. And all these kind of guarantees just lend a lot more trust to you as the consumer. So why not? Why wouldn't they have something like that in place? It doesn't have to be that 100% money back guarantee. Okay, number 4 is pressure. So if you're getting pressured into making a decision quickly, you might just want to take a step back. Now, this is different to the legitimate marketing strategy of scarcity, because scarcity kind of encourages people to buy and to act now, and maybe you'll get something extra if you do act quickly. However, if this is some kind of opportunity and you have to decide by tonight, otherwise it's just gone forever, it might just be worth taking just a bit of time just to think through it logically, and just don't let your emotions get the best of you. I mean, again, as I said, there are legitimate marketing strategies out there to encourage people to buy now, and maybe you'll get some extra bonuses if you do that. But generally speaking, the opportunity will still be there, just maybe without those extra bonuses. If you're trying to get pressured into doing something right that second, and you don't even have time to make a decision for yourself, then yeah, I would say just take a step back so that you can actually think for yourself. Now, the 5th one, and this is a big one, this is a long one, and this comes from personal experience, and this might be a contentious issue, but just hear me out. I would say just stay away from multi-level marketing, MLMs, or network marketing. And if you're in one of these, I will explain why. Basically, there's a real thin line between network marketing or MLMs and pyramid schemes, or anything where you have to buy into a program to resell a program that has tiers and all that kind of complex things. And I'll explain why. Like, if it is a viable product or service that isn't grossly overpriced, that most people actually want without anything to do with the business opportunity, then it might be legitimate. But there are many reasons why it might not be. And I'm just going to share some of the things to look out for to see if it is legitimate or not. And this isn't an exhaustive list. This is just some of them. So if people are selling the business opportunity rather than the product itself, that should be something you should look out for, because people are just selling the business opportunity to more people that are selling on the business opportunity again and again and again to people that aren't necessarily interested in the product. That is a pyramid scheme. The second one, if the only barrier to entry is payment, then that should be something you should be wary of, because legitimate opportunities often require you to learn a set of skills or some other kind of criteria. If all you've got to do is pay and that's it, and then you'll start making money, that should be something you should be very skeptical of. If they have a complex remuneration system, there's often no need for it to be that complex, unless it's intentionally trying to confuse people and make it more difficult for people to understand and earn those bonuses. And I guess just effectively disguise that pyramid. That should be something to look out for. And if, as I said, if there's a grossly overpriced product and the only reason they're doing that, having that overpriced product, is so they can actually keep paying all the different levels within the organization. I mean, obviously there's the legitimate strategy of like a price point and being the top price point, but if they're only doing it, there's not really any way they're differentiating themselves from the competition. And the only reason they're doing the pricing high is to pay everyone involved, then yeah, there's another flag there. If they also have like a us versus them mentality, or if you're told to drown out the negativity, aka listening to reasoning and logic, and ignore anyone else who thinks differently, that should be something to be wary of, because there's a difference between a supportive community all dedicated to success using a particular method versus, for lack of a better word, a cult. Like, if there are loads of people involved that are acting superior and looking down on anyone not interested and telling you to just burn your boats with anyone else that isn't part of it, then that should be a major concern. Also, if they have if justifications and the arguments are just not logical for why it isn't a scam or isn't legitimate. For example, I've heard people saying, like, when they're responding to objections, that, oh no, it is legit because it's endorsed by this celebrity or by so and so. And that isn't a logical argument, because that celebrity might have no idea. Just because it's someone famous doesn't mean it isn't. It is something legit. Or another one is, how can it be illegal if so many people are involved, or if there's all these big events? And again, that isn't a logical argument, because I guess money can hide a lot of those things. So yeah, just be wary of those illogical arguments, and just kind of try and think it through yourself. And also, if you just can't find anything online about this opportunity or whatever it is, or if there's lots of smoke and mirrors, maybe because they often try and like hide as much as they can. Maybe if you can't even find out the name of the company until you get the call, then that might be something to be very concerned about, because that shows they're trying to hide things and stop you from doing your own research. So yeah, these are all I guess red flags within that last red flag. Just important things to consider and work out, and obviously your own decision. But I would say just check out forums. Because with all these, you might find people that are involved and no longer are, and just kind of see what their experiences are like. If they were only involved for a week and they were like, oh, I didn't make any money, then obviously they might not be someone you should listen to, unless it was promised that they would make money within a week. But anyway, I would also say just think logically rather than emotionally with all these. Just kind of stay rational and logical, and just think through if this is the right thing for you. So with all that, I hope you got something from this video, and hopefully it will help you avoid something maybe not quite legitimate in the future. Now, if you like these kind of videos, this kind of advice, I've got a free Facebook group called the Young Freelancers and Solopreneurs Facebook group. And what I'll do is I'll leave a link down below. So if you want to join, we can share. It's like a supportive environment where we can share a lot more of these kind of tips and advice, have a lot more kind of question and answers and discussion kind of things. So I'll leave a link down below for that group. But other than that, I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in another video.